Good morning. Today we are going to start with a new chapter, that is soil. Soil is basically the uppermost layer of the earth's surface where we live and plant grow. Soil formation. The uppermost layer of the earth's surface is called soil. It is usually composed of a thin layer of a sand, mud and some rock particles. Soil also contains minerals in it and also the dead decaying part of plant and animal, which is called humus. Soil is basically a mixture of a sand, mud and a rock particle, as well as it contains some amount of mineral and dead and decaying part of a plant and animal, which is decomposed by the decomposer and converted into humus. Soil formation is very slow and stepwise process. It takes thousands of years to form a thin layer of soil. It results of a continuous breaking down of rock by the process known as weathering. So what is weathering? Weathering is basically disintegration, which means breakdown of the rock on the earth's surface by the exposure of the forces, natural forces such as the force of wind, water, frost, root of the plant, etc. Weathering is basically breakdown of larger rock into the small particle by the external forces, that is wind, water, frost and root particles. Weathering is of two types, physical weathering and chemical weathering. Physical weathering. In this process, rock are broken down into the smaller pieces. The big rock are broken down into the smaller one by the mechanical process, as it does not involve any change in the characteristic of original rock. As we having a parent rock which is of black, contain a mineral which is rich in the black soil. This rock is break down by the process of weathering and form the soil which is black in color. So there is no change in the characteristic of the rock as well as the soil. It is basically caused due to the temperatures different. How the temperature difference occur? As day are very hot during the summer and night are equally less hot because there is no sun. So temperature difference, high temperature in the summer and the low temperature in the winter, the frost, the growing of roots between the cracks which formed on the rock due to the temperature difference, and the movement of the animal or the pressure or external pressure, that rock is break down into the smaller one. But there is no change in the nature of the rock and the soil. Chemical weathering. Here word chemical is there. It means it contains some chemical process. In this process, the mineral which is present in the rock are broken down and form a new mineral component. Suppose if some rock is having a sodium and some rock is having a chlorine in it, then sodium and chlorine react with each other and form sodium chloride. Such different type of minerals combine together and form new mineral component. In this process, the chemical nature of rock changes because the minerals are reacting with each other. Water is the one of the main agent here because water help in the chemical reaction between the chemicals. This is the stage 1 of the weathering, where the physical and chemical weathering is occurring and the large pieces of parent rock near the surface are disintegrating into the smaller one, where the large rock is dividing and weathering into the smaller one. Stage 2, where the small rocks, which was the part of the larger rock at some time, is undergoing continuously weathering by the physical and the chemical processes and allow a very thin layer of the rock on the surface of the earth. Bacteria and other microorganisms break down the plant and animal remaining to add humus in it to make that soil fertile and rich in organic material, which is very important for the plant growth. The humus is going to be added in the soil. And last is the stage 3, where the mineral and the salt get seeped down to the lower layer of the soil by the help of water. As the underground water goes down, it takes the mineral component along with it and make the soil favorable for the plant growth. Next is factor affecting the soil formation. There are a number of factors which affect the soil formation. Number 1 is the climate of the place, characteristic of the parent rock and the slope of the land. Climate. Climate is the factor or an agent of a weathering. Climate is dependent upon the temperature, rain, wind, which play an important role in loosening and breaking up of the rock by the physical weathering. Water in the rock of cervix expand when it freezes, as we know that the rock having a cracks on it due to the temperature difference in the day and night, and that cracks get filled with the water due to the frost or the rainfall. And during the winter season, that water get freeze, and we know that water has unique property that it expand on freezing. As water freeze, that crack get expand, increase the pressure and causes the rock to get crack, and this rocks and then worn down by the wind. Soil formation is the fastest in hot, moist climate because in hot and moist climate, the bacterial activity is quite high, whereas it is slowest in the cold and dry climate because bacterial activity is slow. As a result, soil in these areas having a rich content of the humus. On other hand, desert region have a very little vegetation and animal life. Why? As the temperature is high there, but still there is a very little vegetation. Why? Because there is a limited dead decaying material available in the soil. As a lack of the rainfall and the soil is quite dry and arid in that region, it do not hold the water, and due to which the vegetation is not able to grow there. In such area, they experience a severe winter. Bacterial activity is also slow because dead plant and animal matter is to be built up. The bacterial activity is slow, but the dead decaying matter is going to be increased, due to which the rate of decomposition is less as comparatively the formation of the dead and decaying matter. Next is the characteristic of the parent rock. The composition of the parent rock also depends upon what kind of soil it is formed. If the parent rock is rich in the calcium, of course the soil which is formed by this parent rock is also rich in calcium too. Slope of a land. Physical feature of a place play a very important role in the formation of a soil. Hilly areas generally have a very thin layer of soil because that running water wind tends to be carry the soil to the down. If the hill is there and we are having a soil on this, due to the slope of this land, though sand with the help of water goes down, it goes down because of the slope of the land, and this soil comes down and get deposited on the plains, which makes the result in the formation of the basins and the delta alongside of the river. Next topic is soil profile. Due to the physical, chemical and biological activity that take place during the soil formation, well developed layer of soil is formed, one above another. We can distinguish that layer. So a vertical section of the soil from the ground surface to the downward parent rock, or we can say the bedrock, that different layers of the soil, or we can say that horizon, is known as soil profile. Different horizon is A horizon, B horizon, C horizon, R horizon. O horizon is also there, which is not mentioned. O horizon is the topmost layer, which is consist of humus only. Then A horizon, which is known as topsoil, it is the uppermost layer of the soil. It is consist of very fine particle of the soil. It is rich in humus and it is quite dark in color because humus is dark. It is very soft, porous soil and can hold water very well. That's why the plant grow on this layer. And it is also rich in organic matter because decomposers activity is high here. B horizon is known as subsoil. It is very rich in the mineral that seep down along with the water. B also contain the mineral which come down from the A horizon to the B with the help of water that seep down into the soil. It also contains some fine packed particle. Then the C horizon, it contains partially weathered rock. It is usually characterized by that rock which are having cracks and cervix, and it is difficult to dig beyond this layer. It is quite deep. And last is the R horizon, or we can say the bedrock. It is the lowermost layer which is consist of the parent rock, and the properties of this parent rock determine which type of soil or how the different composition of the soil is going to be formed at the top, which is known as A horizon. Next is composition of soil. As soil is constitute of different things, so there is a different composition of the soil. Soil is consist of water, sand, clay, silt, pebble and humus. These are 6 main things which make up the soil and having a different proportion. Clay, the size of the clay is less than 0.0002 mm. Silt is 0.002, 0.05. Sand is from 0.0205 to 2. Fine pebbles is from 2 to 5. Medium size pebbles is 5 to 20 and coarse pebble is from 20 to 75 mm. Mm means millimeter. This is basically the composition of the soil, which contains some organic matter, then the muddy water, then clay, then fine sand particle, then thick sand particle, and the bottom layer is consist of the gravel and the pebbles. Air and water in soil. Soil particles have a space between them, and that space is known as pore space, which is filled up with the air or water. The amount of pores that the soil has, it is known as porosity. Larger the amount of the pores, larger the porosity of the soil is. Porosity is basically depend upon the size and number of the pores present in the soil. Larger the size of the particle, larger will be the pore and between the soil particles. Next is type of soil. As we know that there are different type of soil depending upon how much sand, silt, clay, humus, organic matter is there in the soil. You can easily identify the different type of soil by taking a soil between your fingers and add some little water and just rub it. When you rub that soil between your fingers, if you feel gritty and pale brown, then it is a sandy. If you feel shiny and smoothie coating on your finger, which is grayish brown, then that soil is clay. If it makes a flaky and dark layer, then it is a loamy. How sandy and clay and loamy soil are different from each other? Let us study now. Sandy soil. More than 2/3 of the composition of sandy soil is sand and little amount is the clay. It has a very large particle because sand particles are comparatively large. The porosity of this soil is so poor because the pores are so big, they are not able to retain water very well. It dries up very easily, so we have to put water regularly in this soil. This soil is suitable for the growth of fruit and vegetable cultivation. Clay soil. More than larger part of this soil is a clay. It can consist of fine particles with a smaller air spaces. It retains moisture and become very sticky when wet. But when it becomes dry, it forms a crack on it. To improve this soil, we can add chalk in it. It is good for making pots. Next is loamy soil. Loamy soil has a sand and silt in equal amount and a clay also in small amount. It is having a high humus content. It is having a proper porosity for the proper growth of plant, and that's why it is a good soil for the cultivation of crop and gardening. Next is the properties of the soil. Soil has a special property that is determined by the 3 points: absorption of water, moisture present in soil, and the percolation rate of water. Absorption of water in soil. As we have done the porosity here, the plant grow in the soil required the water to grow. Of course the thing is there. Plant grow in very well in that soil which having a water in it. If the soil hold good water, the plant will able to grow well. If soil is not able to hold water, the plant will not able to grow in that, or you have to water that plant very frequently. Otherwise, plant will die. The amount of water that can be given to a soil depend upon the absorption tendency of the soil. Higher the absorption of water by the soil, higher is the availability of the plant. Next is moisture in soil. When you take a small soil and heat up, you will see that some tiny droplets of water come around the test tube. How? Because that soil contains some water in it, that is moisture. Soil also absorbs some amount of water in a form of moisture, and this moisture determines that what amount of water should be poured into the soil or irrigated into the soil depending upon the moisture present in the soil. Percolation rate of the water. Percolation rate means the rate at which the water exists in the soil. The rate at which the water can go into the soil and how much time it takes. Different soil have a different percolation rate. For a proper plant growth, it is important to check the percolation rate of a water. In a well-drained soil, the water passes very rapidly. If the particle of soil is large and drained very well, in that soil, the water passes very frequently and you have to irrigate it very frequently and very fastly. On other hand, if the soil has a poor percolation, it holds too much water. That can be also harmful for plant because plant is not able to grow in a soil which holds too much water. It means that percolation rate should be medium, should be proper. Thank you and have a nice day.